Well, I have finally got my hands on a new S25 Ultra, so I just wanted to make a quick video about unboxing experience and my first impressions on this phone. Don't worry, I'll be talking about all the technical specifications of this phone in the future when I use it a couple of months, but right now I just wanted to talk about my first experiences. But if you're curious about a detailed report, don't forget to follow. And yes, let's get started with the unboxing experience. Now, in the box, of course, you get the phone, some booklets, a charging cable, Type-C to Type-C, and the SIM pin. Unfortunately, Samsung still doesn't include any kind of adapters in the box. Call me an old-timer, but if I'm paying this much for a phone, at least give me an adapter. Well, the design-wise, I think this is the biggest change over the years. To be perfectly honest, I didn't really like the design of the S24 Ultra. You know, it was too boxy for my taste, and also these mid-frames were so thick that the bezel seemed really large. But the S25 Ultra is the phone that I wanted the S24 Ultra to be. It has curved corners and the mid-frame is really thin. Also, the bezels are really thin and it makes a huge difference, believe me. Phone has shrunk on every 3 dimensions, and also it is 14 grams lighter. It seems like these are really small numbers, but believe me, in the hand this phone is much more manageable and comfortable to use. Another thing is that they're using a higher grade titanium for the mid-frame, so it is better than the S24 Ultra on that regard. Okay, what about the display? Now, for the front glass, they're using Corning Gorilla Armor 2, and supposedly it is much more shatter resistant. But according to some reports, it is not as scratch resistant as the Corning Gorilla Armor 1. And if you watch my S25 Ultra review, that scratch resistance is one of the best features for this phone, for me at least. I have never used a screen protector with this phone and I'm using it for 1 year and it doesn't even have any micro scratches. So it's a big bummer for me. I think it's a downgrade, but at least it is more drop resistant, I guess. Another change is that it is now 6.9 inches rather than 6.8 inches and the screen to body ratio is 92.5% compared to last year's 88.5%. Like I said, the numbers seem small. Maybe in the pictures it doesn't show up perfectly, but in real life the difference is night and day. So what about the actual display? First of all, I just want to talk about all that grain problem. Yes, S24 Ultra had a really big Q&A problems, but I'm happy to report that at least in my unit, I didn't encounter any grainy display problems or uniformities on brightness. So at least, even though they're not using a new display, they solved the Q&A problems. But that is the only thing change about this display. It is still an 8-bit display and it has the same brightness as last year. So I don't necessarily think this is a big upgrade. So what about the internals? Well, S25 Ultra is now using the Snapdragon 8 Gen Elite and it comes with, again, 12 GB of RAM. I think 12 gigs of RAM is not enough, but it is what it is. And also, according to some reports, in Asia, they're selling a 16 GB variant of this phone, but unfortunately it is not available in Europe. The phone also comes with the same 5000 mAh battery, so they only bet for the efficiency of the new chip. But like I said, the 5000 mAh was not enough in the S25 Ultra and I don't believe it is enough in this phone. So let's talk about the performance then. Since this is just the first impression video, I just run the Geekbench 6, but if you're curious about more detailed performance review with some gameplay, just wait for my actual review of this S25 Ultra. But for now, these are the Geekbench 6 scores. Compared to other 8 Elite phones, S25 Ultra basically at the low end, but maybe there are some upcoming firmware updates that can improve the performance of the device. That's why I'm not making a comprehensive performance report right now. Just wait a couple of months so that they can patch whatever problem this phone has. What about the cameras? Well, this is one of the things that changed from S25 Ultra, at least one of the cameras. You still have the same 200 megapixel main camera, 3x 10 megapixel and 5x 50 megapixel sensors. The front facing camera is also the same. The only thing has changed is the wide angle. It is now 50 megapixel rather than 12 megapixel. and it is a value upgrade in my opinion. If you watch my S24 Ultra review, in that review I said that basically 3x and the wide angle lens is non-usable. They were so bad. But I'm happy to report that now the wide angle is usable. But wide angle is not also good for shooting wide angle, it is also good for micro photography. So this phone takes really great and sharp micro photography. Okay, before software, there are some couple of things that I have to mention. First of all, elephant in the room, the S Pen. Yes, they removed the Bluetooth feature, and to be honest, that was the only thing that made me use the S Pen from S25 Ultra. So this is a really big downgrade for me. Don't quote me on this, but I think in the future, maybe next year, maybe 2 years later, they're planning to remove the S Pen completely, and this is just the first step. Just wait and see. I hope they don't do that, but this is not a good direction in my opinion. Another thing with S Pen is that I presume since it is lighter than the previous versions, when the phone is vibrating, it rattles inside of the phone and creates an annoying noise. I don't know how Samsung missed this. This was one of the first things that I have realized with this phone, and it makes it feel like you're using a really cheaply built phone. And since we are on the topic of vibration, S25 Ultra is using the same vibration motor as the S24 Ultra. It is not the best, it is not the worst. I think an upgrade is overdue. The haptics on this phone and the S24 Ultra is basically lackluster. But unfortunately, they didn't change that. But there's a really huge improvement, and that is the speakers. I don't know why Samsung never talked about this. They talk about Google Gemini and all that AI shenanigans for half an hour or 40 minutes, but they never talk about the speakers. But I'm happy to inform you that both speakers have changed and they sound phenomenal. Here's a quick demonstration between the S24 Ultra and the S25 Ultra. Like I said, it's a night and day difference, and I'm really happy with it because I was not happy with the speakers of the S24 Ultra, and this phone is now up with iPhone 16s in terms of speaker quality. Okay, let's talk about the software. Firstly, let's talk about that Now Brief. Well, when I first see the Now Brief, I wasn't really thrilled to try it because basically there is nothing new with it. It shows you the weather, your calendar, or your sleep schedule, your workouts, and that kind of stuff, and you already have those informations just one click away. But after using it for a couple of days, I realized that it is a really big convenience to see all of that information in a single page, and convenience matters. Also, this Now Brief is not limited to mornings. You can get a briefing middle of the day or at night, so it is not just something that you use and forget in the morning. Another software related improvement comes in the name of Galaxy AI. Galaxy AI now supports more languages for instant translation. Also, they added a couple of new features to the Galaxy AI such audio arrays, but please wait for my full review so I can test it in that. There are also two small additions in the software. One is new battery information tab inside the battery. Now S25 Ultra shows the health and the cycle of the battery, which is really great. And the other thing is new options in the quick settings. It basically shows the nearby devices that you can connect in a really cool interface, but it does not add any new functions, so don't get sad about if you don't have this feature. Okay, that was it. Overall, it's a really nice phone, but it is not an upgrade in my opinion. If you're using an S24 Ultra, S23 Ultra, or even S22 Ultra, I don't see any reason to upgrade to S25 Ultra. The differences are really minimal, and I don't think S25 Ultra justifies its price. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or anything that you want me to test with the S25 Ultra, just let me know down in the comment sections. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and like. And like always, take care.